There is a moment, one that most people have experienced at least once in their lives, where you step outside on a clear night, look up at the sky filled with stars, and feel the sensation of seeing the universe as it truly is. A vast, living, present cosmos spread out before you in real time. Every point of light feels immediate. Every star feels current. The night sky feels like a window, a transparent membrane between you and the living universe, showing you everything that is out there right now. That feeling is one of the most profound and one of the most completely incorrect perceptions the human nervous system is capable of producing. When you look at the night sky, you are not seeing the universe as it is. You are seeing the universe as it was. You are not looking outward through space. You are looking backward through time. Every single photon that lands on your retina when you gaze at a star has been traveling through the vacuum of space for years, decades, centuries, or billions of years before arriving at your eye in this precise moment. The star you are seeing may no longer exist. The galaxy you are admiring may have already collided with a neighbor and reorganized itself into an entirely different structure. The light you are receiving is not a live broadcast. It is an ancient recording delivered to you at the only speed the universe permits information to travel, 299,792 kilometers per second, which sounds extraordinarily fast until you measure it against the staggering geometry of the cosmos. This is not a poetic observation. It is a physical, mathematical, and deeply consequential property of spacetime that has direct and permanent implications for one of the most important scientific questions our civilization has ever asked. Are we alone? And the answer the universe gives us, through the cold and precise structure of its own geometry, is not simply yes or no. It is something far more unsettling. It is that the question itself may be physically unanswerable, not because the answer does not exist, but because the architecture of spacetime has constructed a system of temporal concealment so thorough, so universal, and so mathematically permanent that intelligent civilizations could be flourishing in enormous numbers all around us, and we would have no way of knowing, not because of any failure of our technology, but because of the fundamental speed at which information is permitted to move through the universe. To understand this properly, we need to build the concept from its physical foundations. Light, for all its apparent immediacy, is not instantaneous. When you turn on a lamp in a dark room, the photons leaving that bulb travel at a fixed, invariant speed. In a room, the delay is so extraordinarily small that it is entirely imperceptible to human senses. But space is not a room. Space is a geometry so vast that the delay of light, multiplied across cosmological distances, becomes not a minor technical consideration, but a fundamental physical barrier between observers separated by those distances. The light reaching us from our own sun left its surface approximately 8 minutes and 20 seconds ago. That is the version of the sun we see. Not the sun as it is right now, but the sun as it was 8 minutes ago. If the sun were to catastrophically collapse at this precise moment, we would not know for 8 minutes and 20 seconds. We would sit here, receiving warm golden light from a star that no longer existed, completely unaware, because the information of its collapse would still be en route. Now extend that principle to the nearest star system beyond our own. The light arriving from Proxima Centauri left that star approximately 424 years ago. When you look at it tonight, you are seeing a star that existed 4.24 years in the past. When astronomers study the Andromeda Galaxy, the light they are analyzing left that galaxy approximately 2.5 million years ago. When our most powerful telescopes peer at distant galaxy clusters billions of light years away, they are not seeing those structures as they exist in any meaningful present. They are seeing those structures as they existed billions of years before our sun had finished forming. This is what physicists mean when they talk about the light cone. The light cone is the geometric structure in spacetime that defines the boundary of what any observer can possibly see or know about at any given moment. It is shaped precisely by the speed of light. Everything inside your past light cone is information that has had enough time to reach you. Everything outside it is, in the most physically rigorous sense of the word, currently invisible to you, not because it is hidden behind a physical barrier, but because the information describing its present state has not yet had time to travel across the space separating you from it. Consider this analogy carefully. Imagine a massive ancient castle, so enormous that its two towers are separated by a distance of several miles. Two inhabitants of this castle each carry a video camera, but these cameras are connected by a system of cables so long that the video signal takes precisely 10 years to travel from one tower to the other. When the person standing in the east tower looks at their screen, they see the west tower as it appeared 10 years ago. When the person in the west tower looks at their screen, they see the east tower as it appeared 10 years ago. Now suppose one inhabitant arrived at their tower only 5 years ago. The other person, watching their delayed screen, still sees only empty stone. They see nothing, no movement, no fire in the hearth, no inhabitant. They see a completely vacant tower, not because that tower is currently vacant, because it is not, but because the information confirming the presence of its new inhabitant has not yet had enough time to traverse the cable and arrive at their screen. Both people are alive, both are breathing, both are actively present in the castle at the same moment, and yet each one is completely, mathematically hidden from the other by the fundamental delay of information. The universe operates on this principle, not with cables carrying delayed signals, but with light-crossing cosmological distances, and the timescales involved are not 10 years. They are millions and billions of years. Here is where the physical consequences become genuinely staggering. Suppose a civilization, an intelligent, technologically sophisticated species, emerges on a planet orbiting a star 50 million light-years from Earth. Suppose this civilization, right now, at this moment in cosmic time, is flourishing. Suppose they have cities. Suppose they have built large structures visible from space. Suppose they have developed the technology to emit powerful radio signals that propagate outward from their planet in all directions. Their civilization is, by any measure we would recognize, magnificently and undeniably present. What do our telescopes see when they point at that star system today? They see that star system as it existed 50 million years ago, long before this civilization existed, long before complex multicellular life evolved on that planet, long before the chemical conditions necessary for biological complexity had even been established. Our telescopes, operating with perfect precision, show us a barren, rocky world, or perhaps a world in the early biological stages of microbial chemistry, with no indication whatsoever that it will one day host an advanced civilization. The civilization is invisible to us, not because it is hiding, not because it has chosen silence, not because our instruments are insufficiently powerful. It is invisible because the light-carrying visual information about its existence has been traveling toward us for 50 million years and has not yet arrived. And simultaneously, the situation is perfectly mirrored in the other direction. When that civilization points its own telescopes toward the precise coordinates of Earth in their sky, what do they see? They see Earth as it was 50 million years ago. They see a planet in the Eocene epoch, populated by early mammals, warm, shallow seas, and dense forests. They see no cities. They see no electromagnetic emissions from technology. They see no evidence of an intelligent civilization, because the light carrying that evidence has been traveling toward them for 50 million years and has not yet arrived at their instruments either. Two civilizations, both alive, both present, both perhaps searching the sky with great urgency for signs of company, and each one seeing nothing but the ancient past of the other's world. The universe has not placed a wall between them. It has placed time between them, and time, enforced by the fixed speed of light, is a barrier more absolute than any physical structure. This temporal concealment is not selective. It does not apply only to distant civilizations. It applies to every object in the observable universe, and it scales with distance in a way that becomes progressively more severe the further out we look. The deeper our telescopes peer into the cosmos, the older the light they collect. The Hubble Space Telescope and its successors have captured images of galaxies as they existed when the universe was only a few 100 million years old. Those galaxies as they exist today, in whatever form they have evolved into over the subsequent 13 billion years, are entirely beyond our current capacity to observe. We are not seeing the universe as it is. We are seeing the universe as it was, and the gap between those two things grows wider with every additional light year of distance. Now layer onto this the concept of temporal desynchronization between distant observers, which emerges directly from the special and general theories of relativity. Two observers separated by vast distances in an expanding universe do not share a single universal present moment. The relativity of simultaneity, a core and experimentally verified prediction of special relativity, establishes that the concept of two events happening at the same time is not an objective universal fact. It is a relationship that depends on the relative motion and separation of observers. For observers separated by cosmological distances, in a universe where space itself is expanding at an accelerating rate, the notion of a shared present moment becomes geometrically complex in ways that further deepen the problem of mutual visibility. When we ask whether another civilization exists right now, the word now contains within it an assumption that does not survive contact with relativistic physics. The present moment is not a universal cosmic instant. It is a local concept defined within the light cone of a specific observer at a specific location. What is simultaneous for us is not simultaneously defined for a civilization 50 million light-years away in any straightforward physical sense. The geometry of spacetime itself participates in the concealment, and there is a further layer that compounds this already formidable problem. The universe is expanding. Space itself is stretching, and that stretching carries distant objects away from us at rates that, for sufficiently distant regions, exceed the speed of light. This does not violate relativity because it is not objects moving through space faster than light. It is space itself growing, carrying objects with it. For any civilization beyond our cosmic horizon, the light they emit today will never reach us, not because it is too slow, but because the space between us is growing faster than light can cross it. Those civilizations, if they exist, are not merely temporally hidden from us. They are permanently, irrevocably beyond any possibility of communication or detection. The universe has placed them outside the boundary of our observable region entirely. What emerges from all of this is a picture of the cosmos that is as philosophically profound as it is physically precise. The universe does not need walls to separate intelligent civilizations from one another. It does not need to place them in isolated pockets with nothing but empty space between them. It achieves the same result through something far more elegant and far more fundamental. It achieves it through the geometry of space-time itself, through the fixed speed at which information propagates, and through the staggering distances that ensure the light carrying evidence of any civilization's existence takes millions or billions of years to cross. The night sky is not a window, it is a museum. Every point of light you see is an exhibit from a specific moment in the past, preserved precisely by the time it took for that light to reach your eyes. The universe you are seeing when you look up is a composite image assembled from millions of different moments in history, layered on top of each other and presented to your visual cortex as a single, apparently simultaneous scene. It is, in the most literal physical sense, an illusion of the present constructed entirely from the past. The Fermi paradox asks where all the intelligent civilizations are, and the answer that the geometry of space-time provides is not that they are absent. The answer is that we are all sealed within our own temporal slices, able to see only what has had time to reach us, able to be seen only by those for whom our light has had time to arrive. Civilizations could be emerging, flourishing, and reaching outward across the cosmos in numbers that would astonish us, and we would not know, because the universe enforces a silence not through emptiness, but through the irreducible delay between emission and arrival, between event and knowledge, between the present moment of a distant world and the moment that world finally becomes visible to us. We are not alone in space. We may be alone in time. And that distinction, precise and physically grounded as it is, changes everything about how we understand our place in the universe.